Well, hi folks. Here we are on Sunday. This is June 28th, is it? Losing track of time here. It's a beautiful sunny Sunday on Vancouver Island. Bit of wind, but the day is sort of gorgeous. Trust everybody is well and everybody's fine. As always, I'm going to put some interesting links to some other videos in the description portion of this. And for those who are concerned about finances and that sort of thing, you might find this intriguing. Because I think by now there's a lot of people starting to see through all this BS that we're getting, where people are trying to manipulate and get one set of the population against the other. Thinking people are seeing through this and realizing there's something crazy going on. This idea of systemic racism. I think Newt Gingrich said they had a description, went something like this, that systemic is meant to make you feel guilty and to get you to shut up. Well, critical thinking people don't shut up. And you understand what's going on. We're not feeling guilty about anything. Although a lot of the bleeding hearts out there are. But more and more people are starting to say, hey, there's something wrong here. This isn't quite right. It isn't what it appears. It isn't what it seems. There's something else going on. Another interesting thing I ran across, and I think I had passed on a link to the handbook for insurrection that was used by many governments. And right now we're seeing a big spike in the Wuhan Waltz music sort of really cranking up and the dance really going faster in like places like Florida, Texas, Arizona. And it's interesting. There's a theory out there, and I think I mentioned his name, George Webb, has spent 4 years researching this, interviewing people who are actually doing this sort of thing. You can find him at Parler.com, Parler.com. That's a communication site, much like Twitter, without the crazy twit in the background being censored. And you can find George at Georg Webb, W-E-B-B, once you get into Parler. And he has a whole book. He's writing a book, and he's got a summary of that book in about 111, 112 short pages. But you can read it all on his Twitter account, on his Parler account. And it's quite interesting. And he's indicating aerosoling the virus. Getting this Wuhan Waltz in an aerosol spray bottle and just going into where there's a lot of people and spraying. And you say, who in the hell would do that? Well, there are activists out there who are paid to do this sort of thing. Antifa is, you just got to follow Antifa back to the Muslim Brotherhood, to ISIS, to the whole thing. All these are connected. And some of these people were used by governments in other countries to cause insurrection and to try to topple a government. Ukraine is a good example, Yugoslavia, of course Syria, and you know all those countries in our recent time that have had governments sort of toppled. And it's crazy in a sense, because it seems to be coming back to North America. And we have those assholes doing the same thing here. Just look where George Soros sets up, or the Soros family set up, and you know there's something really, really amiss. And it's strange, because I think a lot of politicians are in on it. A lot of our so-called leaders are in on it. And the reason I say that is because you just look at England, you look at the US, you look at Canada. Where are the leaders? Why aren't they? Where are the people? Where are they? Why are the people we've elected? Why aren't they doing something? Well, they're all staying at home, canceling Parliament and canceling Congress and all that sort of shit, and staying in their gated communities or wherever. And when you look, it's that old sort of scenario. It doesn't matter who you vote for. You get different dummies in different suits, different colors, but they're still the puppets to something bigger than they are. And I think You can send me tin hats if you want, but it's obvious to people who are really digging around that this is happening. So the other thing that is sort of intriguing, I'll put a link to it. Professor in economics and accounting out of Michigan University has been doing some research into the $21 trillion that is unaccounted for in the U.S. budget. He's now got it up to $90 trillion. Yeah, that's $90 trillion. I'll put a link to that. And if that proves to be true, it's sort of alarming in a sense, because it indicates that the dollar could tank, U.S. dollar could tank. And so what would happen if the U.S. dollar tanks? Well, the U.S. dollar is international currency set. I mean, we're all based on the U.S. dollar. If that goes into the toilet, a lot of currencies fail. So then that means what happens to your cash you might have in the bank or whatever? What happens to your money if that happens? And what type of currency are they going to replace it with? And there's some jabber that some people are talking about Vietnam, believe it or not. Some people are talking about Iran, believe it or not, or Iraq, I should say. And some people are talking China. And it's intriguing. And I don't know how that's going to sort out. But if obviously the globalists and the big money guys, the big corporations, they would like to have it sort of reset so they can sort of go to a place where they almost have slave labor, where people are totally controlled at gunpoint, and they reap more profits. And I'm not sure if you looked at any of that video on that long link that I had posted on yesterday. I realized I think the total thing was like 8 hours. So I realized most people don't have 8 hours to watch that. But over time you probably could. And you'll notice as you get past the first hour, it starts to repeat ideas and things. That's the old technique. If you keep repeating something, you might believe it. And so I just would watch that first hour. It'll give you a good idea. And think for yourself. Don't get sort of sucked in. I mean, our Prime Minister in Canada, Justin Trudeau, will stand up and he repeats systemic racism, right privilege, and police reform every chance he gets. And of course, if a leader says that, a lot of dummies, the followers, the sheep, will believe that. Other people will think and start, well, hey, that's wrong, man. You're BSing us. So. But other than that, I will put these links on, and let's. Some of the links are talking about, they're from investment companies, so just disregard all their propaganda. But they got some good points they're making. Some good points that you could that might kick out some rust out of our locks, and get us thinking. Because what do you do? I mean, if the currency falls, let's say U.S. dollar collapses, what happens to the Canadian dollar? When you go back to the last reset, that was what, 44, 45, and the British pound after the war was the standard. The pound sterling was sort of the currency standard, but they were in the toilet. They were sort of devastated after the war. So the U.S. picked up the ball and ran with it, and have been that standard since. And of course, China, Russia, Iran, they would rather not. A lot of countries just really are pissed that the U.S. has the standard currency, and they'd like to change that. And maybe that's why all of our leaders are in hiding. They know what's going on, and they're just hiding. Trudeau, he's got a minority, so he's obviously hiding. What can he do? He's got to get everybody else together, the other clowns to go with him. The one that I'm surprised at is Johnson out of England. He has a major majority, and he can pretty much go out there and do things, but he's not. He has the police running from scenes, from protests. Just a lot of goofiness going on over there. Charging people with hate crimes for using the word, like calling somebody a leprechaun, that kind of crap. It's sort of scary. And so we'll sort of leave it at that. Well, if you go back into the States, wonder where Trump is, well, they're going into an election. And it's intriguing. I mean, I know most people don't research on that end, but the only research most people do is by watching NBC, MSNBC, CNN, Canada, CTV, CBC. They're getting all the same propaganda. I mean, they're listening to the parrots with microphones who are being told what to say. And if people who don't believe that just flip through a channel, any important issue, the same buzzwords come over and over and over and over again. It's sickening. And you wonder how anybody with half a brain can believe that, but they do. But there's really, really nasty down in the States. I mean, people like Schiff and Pelosi and the whole crew just really would not like to have an election. They would like to have the election by mail. And anybody in grade 3 realizes by mail you can have a whole lot of crap going on. Anyway, that's all for now. I'll add those links, and again, if you happen to be watching this, thanks, and hey, let us know what you think. You can also reach me by email if you'd rather by email, not put anything on. You can reach me through the messenger service on YouTube or on BitChute, so you don't have to put a comment if you'd want to be shy and not be out in public on a comment section. Or you can just sort of email me at nesbitts@gmail.com. That's NESBITTS @gmail.com. Take care. Bye for now. See you tomorrow.